Welcome to Dealer's Dice, a twist on the classic game of poker that trades your chips for dice and ensures the odds are never in your favor. Your end goal is to overcome your opponents and face off against the dealer in a one-on-one showdown to free your soul and escape the afterlife. Dealer's Dice is designed to be played with 3 to 5 players. Players not playing the role of dealer have the option of 4 roles. The executive. In life, you are the CEO of one of the most destructive and inhumane pharmaceutical corporations in the world. In death, your greed is shown in your gameplay. Whenever you draw cards during the betting phase, you draw 1 more card than you discard. However, you start each round with 1 less card than your opponents. The despot, once known as one of the most corrupt souls to ever enter a position of power, a little setback like death won't stop you from taking bribes. You have the ability to redirect a dealer's sabotage to the player directly before or after you, at the cost of giving one of your own precious dice to the dealer. The Kingpin used to be the undisputed king of Vegas and were the owner of countless casinos. You were a master of giving the impression of fair odds and good times, while pulling strings behind the scenes to ensure you always had the last laugh. In death, you're forced to play at high stakes. It's go big or go home after all. Every time you roll a die, you're guaranteed the best or worst roll. Any roll between 1 to 3 counts as 1, and any roll between a 4 and 6 counts as a 6. The Warlord, you were a fearsome killer with no mercy, as feared by your allies as much as your enemies. You stood atop a pile of bodies stacked to the heavens, victorious in all but one battle. In death, you have a direct advantage over the weaklings around you. Any hand you play is treated a rank higher. However, any ties you come across are unwinnable for you. To begin the game, each participant will be given exactly 6 6-sided dice. Players take turns rolling 2 of their dice, taking note of their total. The player who rolled the highest sum is able to choose their roll first. Players may choose from the 4 rolls previously mentioned. The unfortunate soul who rolled the lowest will be given the roll of the dealer, whose power will be explained shortly. Give the dealer 6 extra dice. After the first player has chosen their roll, players will choose by going in a counterclockwise direction from the dealer until every player has been given a roll. Gameplay is derived from playing standard hands of poker, which, from worst to best, are high card, 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 of a kind, straight, flush, full house, 4 of a kind, straight flush, and royal flush. The game consists of 6 rounds that consist of 3 phases each. The player to the right of the dealer plays first, with turn order continuing in a counterclockwise direction. The draw phase, the dealer begins each round by rolling 1 of their 12 dice. Each player must buy into the round by putting 1 of their own dice into the pot. Players are dealt a hand of 6 cards, as well as an additional amount equal to the amount rolled by the dealer. The betting phase, each player is allowed to look at the cards dealt to them. If they are able to form a hand that they are satisfied with, they are allowed to check, which passes the turn to the next player. If a player is not satisfied with their hand, they may choose to bet an additional dice by adding it to the pot. Each other player must also raise by adding an additional dice as well. All players who contribute a dice into the pot must roll the dice, drawing an amount of cards equal to their own roll and discard an amount of cards equal to their roll. A maximum of 3 dice can be bet by the players per round, including their initial buy-in. Once all players have bet or checked, the round moves to the reveal phase. The reveal phase, each player reveals a hand that they created one by one, according to turn order. The player with the best hands claims all the dice in the pot. Any player left with no dice after the end of the reveal phase is eliminated from the game. The phases aren't as simple as you might like to think. Enter the dealer. While not being a direct participant in the game, the dealer is able to use its demonic energy to impact the game to cause fortune or misfortune to the players. During the end of the draw phase, the dealer has the opportunity to choose from one of 4 sabotages. Loaded dice. During the betting phase, any die rolled by the targeted player will be a 2. Unlucky. During the betting phase, the targeted player must roll their bet twice and is forced to use the lower of the rolls. Transparency. At the end of the draw phase, the targeted player must reveal all cards in their hand. Any cards drawn during the betting phase are not affected by this sabotage. Declutter. At the start of the reveal phase, the targeted player is forced to discard 2 cards at random, winning the game. The final stage of the game can be triggered in one of 2 ways: when only 1 player remains in the game with dice, or after 6 rounds have passed. All players still in the game must face off one-on-one against the dealer by rolling all of their dice and finding the total. The dealer will also roll their dice against each player. Any player with a total higher than the dealer has successfully held their own and escaped hell.